methods of collecting primary data. We have a lot of methods, but the most important are: number first, direct personal investigation. Let us not cite all first and explain them later. Let us take one and explain it. Direct personal investigation. Direct personal investigation is a method, okay, in which words are explaining themselves, in which data are collected by the investigator personally from the sources concerned. You see, why I take a few basic things at a stretch first before we deal with the things. It is why. Now, if I am talking about a word, I am writing a word, you are able to understand. When I am saying sources, you are able to understand what I am talking about. When I am saying investigator, you are able to understand what I am saying. Okay, direct personal investigation is such a method in which the data are collected by the investigator personally. He himself goes and collects the data. This is the most suitable method of collecting primary data, particularly where the it is a suitability. If you look into it, is suitability. If you look into it, is suitability. It is suitability particularly when field of your observation is limited and is not very large. Field of investigation is limited, not large. If you have a very large field of investigation and you would require the secondary data, or you would require to employ the persons. But if you have a very small field of inquiry, then it's the most suitable thing to adopt, that is direct personal investigation. You'll go yourself, ask the person about the thing. If you talk about it as suitability in case of accuracy or originality, so the degree of originality of the data is required. It is suitable where a particular degree of originality must exist. So it is suitable also where degree of originality of data is required. So what is degree of originality? Degree of originality simply means that this field of inquiry requires such information which has not been collected before, or which has been collected before by a few people who had been biased about it, but you want to know the truth. So degree of originality comes into context there. Okay. So dear students, when you talk of the suitability of the direct personal investigation, maybe where information is kept secret is one more thing. Okay, you want to obtain a level of secrecy. Okay, or maybe accuracy of data is of greater significance. Okay, or maybe when direct contact with the informant is required. Direct contact is required. There are certain cases where direct contact is important. You cannot just ask on a telephone, by a mail, in a questionnaire, or any other way. You have to make a direct contact with the respondent. And who is the respondent? Exactly the one who is answering, who is responding your questions. So the second method of collecting primary data after direct personal investigation is indirect oral investigation. indirect oral investigation. You see, the words are explaining what it is all about. Indirect oral investigation, necessary information is collected from an indirect source, that is third party. That is what we call third party. You are not going to the respondent yourself. You are maybe sending somebody, or you are maybe asking him in some different way. So the investigator approaches certain sources which are connected with the information directly or indirectly. Usually a list of questions relating to the inquiry is prepared, and these questions are put to different persons. So that means a questionnaire is used. So what is a questionnaire, will come to know just in a way. It is suitability is where the area of inquiry is wide. Okay, you must know about at least a few things about why we take indirect oral investigation. If it would have been oral investigation, that means you are directly asking, and it is indirect oral investigation, that means you are asking but indirectly, maybe from a third party or anything like that. So it is suitability is number one, where the area of inquiry is wide. Number two is where direct source do not exist or cannot be relied upon. Number three could be possible to where it is not possible to have direct contact with the concerned informants. Okay, or maybe where the direct personal investigation is not suitable. There are certain cases where direct personal investigation is not suitable. You cannot ask the person yourself. Say you are asking about certain things to females, and being a male, you will ask a female to ask, that will become a third party. Okay, or maybe complex nature of any particular piece of information, you do not want to get involved, so you do not want to come forward, you are asking indirectly. The third method of it is information through local correspondent. Okay, when the field of inquiry of yours is so large that you require to have piece of information from every poke and corner, you will have to employ, or you will have to appoint different correspondents who will work for you and who will get you the data and all. So information through correspondent is a method in which local agents are appointed, okay, in different parts of the investigation area to collect information. Now, I don't think that it needs to be explained. It is self-explanatory that information through local correspondence simply means where local agents are appointed in different parts of the investigation area. Local agents are appointed and to collect information. That means I am publishing a newspaper. Okay, fine. I cannot reach everywhere. I will have correspondent number 1 in district 1, correspondent number 2 in district 2, correspondent number 3 in district 3, so on and so forth. Maybe these correspondents are of that caliber that they will have their own correspondents A, B, C in different areas of that very particular district. So it is how it goes on and on and on. Okay, so they must get the information. That is how the information reaches to the main source, that is this newspaper, and it gets published. And I'll take one more way. One more type is information through mailed questionnaire. I was just talking about it a while ago. It is your fourth type, that is information through mailed questionnaire. Okay. This, I mean to say, under this method, the investigator prepares a questionnaire. That means a list of questions, keeping in view the objective of inquiry. So information through mailed questionnaire is a method, let us write it, is a method in which a list of questions is sent to informants who are going to give you the information by post. This post word is now by mail. It is one and the same thing, but today it is called email. There are many other ways to send. Okay. So information through mailed questionnaire, being a type of, being the fourth type of your method of collecting primary data, is such a method where a questionnaire is prepared and that questionnaire is being sent to the informant or the correspondent, and he fills that questionnaire, sends it back to you. And this word questionnaire, when I am saying the word questionnaire, questionnaire, this is the most important thing I am talking about. Primary data and secondary data, then questionnaire. This is one more most important thing I am talking about. I'll take it in detail just in a minute or two. Fifth method is, let us take the fifth method first, then we may come to the questionnaire itself. Questionnaire through enumerator. Okay. Now we people know what I am talking about when I am saying enumerator. You know Mr. Enumerator of ours? Do you remember him? I think he must be somewhere here. If not gone far away. No, he is here. He is our Mr. Enumerator. When questionnaire, this is the questionnaire which you are sending through him. Okay, you got it? So questionnaire being sent by this enumerator is something which will get filled. I am not going myself, but collecting primary data, this is the way I am adopting. In questionnaire method, the investigators are sent to informants who are going to give you the information, along with a questionnaire, which are filled by the investigator himself, or maybe the informant himself, doesn't matter, because it is one process, it is being done hand to hand. So okay, this is I think the most suitable one, the field where it is suitability is where the field of investigation is wide. If a very big field of investigation, or investigation needs some specialized or skilled investigators, you have to ask a few questions that must go in a scientific manner or something like that. It has got a many merits. This method is very economical. This method saves your time. This method is capable of wide coverage in terms of area involved. In this method, the quality of originality of data is highly reliable. Okay, but after understanding all these very things, what is important for us to know is the question here in itself. What this question here is. Okay. So as I said, it is important. So next I am talking about question here.